Well, speaking of things that sort of come into our world, there has been a recurring thread that we keep trying to move on from, but it keeps drawing us back in, Will, and that is the return of the king. Of course, talking about Donut King. This is so strange. And I actually, I went to bed last night. I was in the office working for a couple of hours and I went back to bed. Jen was still up when I went to bed. And she said, "Oh, what were you doing?" I said, I've been researching Donut King for a couple of hours. And she's like, "What are you talking about?" And I said, "It's so weird. About a month ago, Will and I just made an offhanded remark about Donut King. I can't even remember the context of how it came up. But the assertion made was that Donut King was this failing franchise, this once great franchise, ubiquitous franchise. You'd find it in every shopping centre in Australia. And that now, it was just, you'd only find it in far north Queensland.
We felt like a couple of little donut Republicans.
Yeah.
Who thought that we'd moved on from the donut monarchy. We did not believe that it was appropriate for modern day living.
We had a new head of state. All hail Boost Juice.
All hail our new leaders, Guzman e Gomez.
So you and I just quite, dismissively moved on from Donut King. But then the emails started coming in. And it was a trickle at first, and then it became a torrent of people saying, "Hey, what are you talking about? There's Donut Kings in my local shopping centre. There's Donut Kings here. There's Donut Kings there. There's donuts everywhere." So I did go to the Donut King, and I can't believe it's taken us this long to actually do it, but I went to the Donut King website last night. And Will, I spent a long time here because they have, under one of their tabs, they have a own a franchise tab. So if you want to get in.
I think, by the way, we should reiterate yet again for anybody who's listening to this as the first episode. This is not SponCon.
We are not sponsored.
We are not sponsored by Donut King. It is viral content in regard to our podcast. It has taken over our entire lives talking about Donut King. There are literally other donut proprietors, manufacturers, distributors who might want to get on board with this podcast in a sponsorship role who are being turned off by the fact that all we ever talk about is the king because we have become donut monarchists.
Well, so we had all this discussion around donuts, and then we got the letters saying, "Hey, Donut King is here." So I went to the website and I found out, actually it is thriving. There are 220 stores in Australia, which is
a lot.
But that feels like it's accelerated since we did a sort of cursory check, and I'm sure that you said, "Oh, there's 7 in New South Wales, there's half a dozen in Queensland." But what I've gleaned from this is that Donut King has gone through a massive rebrand. They're DK now, so they have the shop fronts have changed the way they've done business. I watched these franchise videos where small business owners talk about how they run their own Donut King franchise. So all of this, I'm like, okay, well, that's all fair enough. But then I was in Sydney on the weekend and I caught up with friend of the show, Alex Williams. We went to the footy together, and Alex, just by the by, said, "Hey man, it's really weird. Are you going to be in town next Thursday?" And I'm like, "Why?" And he said, "Oh, I've been invited to this party." And I'm like, "What party?" And he said, "It's a Donut King party." And I literally was like, what the fuck is going on? Are we in the Matrix? I know that an algorithm can feed you ads, but now I have a friend who, apropos of nothing, is talking about this Donut King party and asking if I want to go.
I can say is it does feel like we are living in a simulation based on this.
Right?
Based on the idea that the algorithm that's running everything has identified that we've had a spike in Donut King, found probably a cross-promotional opportunity in this AI matrix in which we live. Donut King's been sitting around going, okay, as soon as somebody mentions Donut King, you're just going to throw Donut King related things in their direction. But a real life experience, even a Donut King party, the idea of what does that even mean?
Well,
What is that?
Well, we have Alex in the waiting room ready to tell us all about it. So why don't we bring him in? To see the full video, join our Patreon.
Patreon.com/Tofop.